Welcome to Innovators, welcome to Singapore. We have been in about 15 cities in Europe, US, and Canada, and I'm glad we're finally, quote unquote, finally here in Singapore. And someone told me this morning, don't get panic if no one is showing up at 9, because usually people drop in like 30 minutes later. And then I thought about the event we did in Germany, where someone wanted the full agenda like in 5 minutes time slots, like 5 months in advance. So probably that's a cultural difference. But the one thing that we have seen all over the world is that you guys, and so my assumption is you are pretty much similar to the other folks that we've welcomed. You guys, innovators, are always very keen on learning and meeting each other. And so we are happy to facilitate that. My name is Hans Balmaekers. I'm the guy who is sending you, first of all the promotional emails, and then also all the logistical emails. So that's me. Together with the team, we're looking forward to having you. If there's any question, find someone with a blue lanyard. Right? So those are people from our team that can help you with any question. They asked me to do some logistical announcements. It's not my best role to play school teacher, but I'll try. So first of all, it's great that you found this room. This is the plenary room. I'm pretty sure you found the entrance and you found the coffee break, so that's all great. We'll be this morning here in the plenary room. Then afterwards, lunch is being served just outside over there. So not in the coffee corner, but in a room like this, just opposite. After lunch, there will be 4 breakout rooms. There's 2 breakout rooms opposite the lunch room. So don't just, if you've eaten and you're like sleepy, don't just walk into the first room and the opposite of the corner. There's actually 2 rooms on the other side. Right, so we have put your names, the things that you subscribe for on the door, so you can clearly see what room you should be in. It shouldn't be too difficult. If you need assistance, please let us know. Right? And then there's another important announcement for the field trips. We'll stop 3:45 sharp this afternoon with the case studies, and then we would like you to come back to the area where you had your registration, the registration desk. There you will see people holding up signs with the name of your field trip. So join your field trip host in the hallway over there. I repeat, go to this person that's holding up the name of your field trip, join this person. I repeat, you go out of the room, you go to the hallway, you find this person with your field trip name, and you go and stick with this person. Then you'll see there's a little bit of a graphic that I tried to design. Now, it's not my career, as you can see, but at least there's one bus going to the social entrepreneurship field trip, and afterwards there's dinner at that location. So you don't need to jump on another bus, you just stay at that location. Okay? There's 3 buses, as you can see, to Unilever, Lumen Lab, and DHL. And then also from those locations, you'll join the buses back to the dinner location. For those joining the extra field trip, you'll join by bus there, and then you go walking to the dinner location. If you have subscribed for the dinner, that's great. That's going to be fun. Just follow your field trip host. If you have not signed up for the dinner, I'm sorry, the restaurant is full, so we cannot accommodate more people. That means that you can join the bus to this restaurant location and then go to your hotel or home, whatever, or you can take your own transportation after the field trip. Shall I try to explain it again? I see some questioning faces. Is it clear? Was clear? Yeah? Okay. We'll be around and we can help you. Basically, after the field trip, join the bus if you're not sure what to do. And then afterwards you can either go to your own hotel or join us for the restaurant. For those that have signed up for the restaurant and cannot make it, please let us know, because then we can allow other people if they want that. As I mentioned earlier, for us, it is key for you to leave with best practices, tools, and content. But it's even more important maybe for you to leave with new friends to reach out to once you're back in the office. So you'll see that we'll try to put a lot of effort also on you connecting with your peers in the room. And to get that started and to kick off the conference, I would like to welcome Mark and Yvonne on stage.
We're certainly not going to let you sit here for too long, because during this session, it's going to be an opening to 2 days of being able to experience not only the content, so we're going to get you to do things, but we're also going to get you to get to know new friends. I'm Yvonne, and I'm the co-founder of 5ECHO, which is a leadership consulting global organization that deals with people at the senior leadership level developing themselves so that they can disrupt their companies.
And I'm Mark Dickson, and I generally find by allowing Yvonne to go first is the only way I get the last word in any discussion. I'm also a co-founder and co-director within 5ECHO based in Malaysia, and generally we roam the world working with a select group of clients, assisting them to scale. We work with a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people startups, and we do a lot of leadership development. So we're looking forward to passing on some of those findings and experience over the next 2 days.
Yes, and we see that there's quite a lot of people, even at the coffee break when we just registered, that you've come from many different countries. We see some old friends as well from our days in the Middle East, so it's great to see. So can we have a show of hands, who's come from Singapore? Okay. Ooh. Now, you notice that's probably the majority. Who's come from Kuala Lumpur? Are we the only two? My goodness!
Representing Malaysia. Okay.
Actually, by way of Sydney and by way of Brisbane.
Brisbane, yes.
Okay, now who's come from Australia? Okay, look around. Make our friends welcome from Australia. Yes.
We didn't clap Singapore.
Oh, we didn't, did we? Who's from Singapore?
Who's from Singapore?
Let's give them a clap. Round of applause for showing up and supporting the local program.
Okay.
And any other countries? Just shout out. India.
India.
Welcome,
well
India.
Done, well done, the Indian contingent. What about UK? There's some people here from the UK. Well done. Welcome,
yes,
Paul.
Yes.
Fair
way to travel. Yep.
US.
Woohoo!
Everyone loves Americans.
And anywhere else? Sorry? Philippines? Yes?
Philippines, yes. Where have we missed? Netherlands. Fantastic. You've come a long way. Well done. Welcome.
Denmark. Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, Hans, you've done well.
Yes, we've actually...
Anywhere we've missed? Hong Kong?
Thailand, Hong Kong.
Always welcome.
Welcome.
Well done. Has anyone made it from the Middle East? Okay, interesting.
Right.
That's,
I believe that
that's not a message there at all.
Okay. Well, I believe there's an Innov8rs conference happening in Tel Aviv, so maybe they, they might be able to get there.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I guess we'll keep moving along. So, yeah. One of the key things we found is, as you can tell, innovators like playing with different minds, with diverse ideas coming from different cultures. And at the moment, the world is moving so fast, we're one global village. And in fact, if we can actually work together really well, we can actually speed up. So leading innovation is one of the key things that we're working with at the moment, where leaders are finding that they are not the ones to have to be the think tank, to have all the great ideas. They need to come from everybody from all levels.
And we're finding as we travel the world working with these organizations, we're getting a lot of this change is good, change is good, change is good, until they try to change. And most people actually do not want to change, okay? And we're finding that's where a lot of our innovators are out there, especially the entrepreneurs are struggling. So we're going to focus a fair bit of time and effort over the next 2 days to have these discussions. But as we go through the next 2 days, my message is a lot of the knowledge and experience you actually need is in the room already. So we're going to be asking you to collaborate a lot more and get away from those very safe tables you're sitting in at the moment, sitting beside someone who looks just like you or someone you actually know. Okay, hello.
Yeah, because as Marshall Goldsmith said, what got us here is not going to get us there. So how are you personally going to benefit from thinking differently and doing differently because you're here for the 2 days? Why do the same thing if you want to walk out here thinking differently? So Mark and I opened up our newsletters 2 days ago from our McKinsey reports, and some of you might even subscribe to this newsletter, and there's this urgency imperative. In other words, we're looking at the fact that in leading innovation, we need to organize in a state of urgency. How many of you feel that the world is working at high velocity? How many of you feel that it could slow down a little bit so it makes it easier for us?
Nice thought.
But that's the name of the game. The fact is, if it's faster and faster, we need to think differently. If not, we have the time to analyze and be paralyzed by it. So that's part of the reason why we're in a great time to innovate.
Yeah.
So
a couple of days ago, I was working with a group of CEOs, and they were asking how we slow it all down. We've all heard of the VUCA effect: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. Sadly, or not sadly, that is just the world we now live in. And we're finding the people, especially the innovators, creators, the leaders, the people who are really being successful, the people who are thriving, are the people who can thrive in that environment. The rest of the people are spending millions of dollars trying to slow everything down to a manageable pace. And they're wasting their time and energy. But because of globalization and a range of other things that are happening in the world, you will not slow it down. So the successful organizations, as well as the successful innovators, are the people who are thriving and not simply surviving in this new business environment.
And I'm sure you're here for exactly that reason. So without actually clamoring and expecting to read this very tiny summary, what we're saying is, in these next 2 days, hopefully you'll increase your framework of urgency so that you can make decisions faster with less information. You can be more agile, and the fact that you'll increase your own capability yourself so that you can add value to your teams. And last but not least, you may even change your own identity. That you might change something internal about yourself so that you can actually change a little bit more. What we're going to focus on is this worship of speed. And if, who knows who that guy is? Jeff Bezos, thank you very much. Very recognizable face, CEO of Amazon, who's created quite a phenomenon around the world. And in his letter to the shareholders in April 2017, he focused on the fact that high velocity is here to stay. Most decisions would probably be made with somewhere around 70% of information, and that's what you wish you had. So in other words, you might be making decisions with much less information. So if you wait for 90%, you are going too slow. So in this next 2 days, just give yourself permission to just dive in and try something with minimum information. Set some intentions for yourself so that you're going to try and stretch something that you don't normally do, and make decisions with less information, even though you will be collecting quite a few.
We all say it, but unfortunately we're probably least comfortable with this particular one. We like to get all the information before we make those decisions. Once again, we're finding with a lot of organisations, the ones who are truly successful and the individuals are those people who are showing the courage to make a call or to make a decision, not having all the information. Certainly building it into your contingency planning, but if you're waiting for all the information, you're actually dying gradually and becoming less and less effective, and so is your organisation. So we're going to discuss that a lot more over the next 2 days to get that level of comfort. Sorry.
How many of you actually work in a think tank situation where you're encouraged to be the innovators? Okay. How many of you wish that this was happening actually in every division in your company? Right? Yes. And the fact is, that is exactly what Bezos is talking about. He said, in high velocity change, we cannot wait for innovation to happen with a small group of people and pass that on out there to prototype and change and bring it back again. You need to actually create a culture. And we work with groups called Innov8rs in the United States with Kai-Han Krippendorf. So you can check out his book, Outthinker. And one of the things he found is it's not just good enough just to have little innovation labs, even though that could be the starting point as a model, but we need to culturally work with the people. And that's one of the things we found really, really exciting. So,
yes, let's get to the activity.
Let's get to the activity. How many of you have actually set an intention for why you're here today? A personal intention. Okay.
Beyond shopping in Singapore or having a great lunch.
That was my intention.
She shops.
Okay, and it is the beginning of
the
beginning of the new year, so often we think, oh, you know, that's when we set our resolutions for 2018. This is not a resolution, this is an intention so that it'll kick off this new year for you with 2 days of activity so that you get out of your rut and do something. And this morning, for those of you who haven't thought about your intention, within the next 15 minutes, we're going to make sure that you get your intention and share it.
Yvonne, click the button.
Oh, okay. Stop talking. All right. So
you probably noticed I'm the pragmatist. Okay, so, and Yvonne's not, clearly. Okay, so we're going to ask you to be curious. The best way I could explain this is when we were children, we were curious about everything. Anything that said wet paint, we would need to touch. Anything we were told not to touch, we would always touch. We had those questions coming out of our beautiful mouths all the time, but why? 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 And unfortunately, somewhere along the line, this gets either developed out of us or beaten out of us as we go up our corporate ladder. So we're going to ask you to ask the question continually over the next 2 days, why? Ask it of yourself, ask it of other people in the room, and ask it of the content. If you don't, if you stop asking why, and we've all heard about Simon Sinek, yes? It all starts with why. Okay.
So why are you here? Did you even ask that question of yourself? So we're going to ask you, often when we ask the question why, we come up with some logical answers. You know, I would like to increase more tools for me to bring to my team. You get the buzzer, okay? We'd like you to be a little bit more creative. Get a little bit more compelling. Set something that you're excited about for the next 2 days and make it colorful. Perhaps you might be stimulated by a conversation that you're about to have with someone, or perhaps you might even be able to be stimulated with pictures, with quotes, whatever it is, other than just a logical thinking.
Finally, collaborative. It probably sounds the most easy one of all to collaborate. As humans, we love to communicate, we love to collaborate typically, but we're finding this is actually starting to diminish in a lot of organisations and in a lot of individuals. Now, partly it's because of the technology. We'll sit at the table even already, and I'm sure you're having lots of conversations, but we're going to ask you to actually collaborate, have some quality conversations with people and make this network. Now, we're also providing you with a wonderful conference app, which you'll be able to collaborate through, and we're going to be discussing a number of other ways you can collaborate. But if you think you can do all of this by yourself, you are wrong. If you think you can do everything by yourself, and the best example of this, I kid you not, a very successful, so far successful organisation, a CEO called me in for coaching. He has got 140 direct reports in his company. He's got 141 people in the company counting him. He does sales, he does R&D, he does everything. He's created this baby and now he's trying to innovate. And the company's imploding. He needs to learn collaboration. We're going to talk about collaboration over the next day or two, please.
So we'll actually start with an activity. You can see that you've got some colored Post-its and some colored markers on the table. You've also got the plain paper and a pen. So you make your choice. Grab something that you yourself now think about and reflect. I'm only going to give you 15 seconds. Time is the essence. Got to make your decision in 15 seconds. And I'd like you to describe what your intention is. So in however form, pick a colored piece of paper and write in 15 seconds what I intend to get in this conference. So that's your task. 15 seconds, and the time starts now. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to meet someone you don't know. Why are we asking you to do that?
We don't want you to pick someone you know. We don't want you to pick someone who looks like you. We don't want someone who you can make a judgment on out or inner appearance. We want you to look for someone who's interesting, who may have something to share with you.
Yes, okay. And now we're going to play the music, and when the music stops, you must have found someone and ask them what their intention is, okay? Go now.
Let's go. We'll just have to keep it moving along a bit, I think. We're running out of time. Keys to a brand new BMW. Or not. Yes, that's it. It's blue tack, not chewing gum. Look under your seats. Everyone should have a small card under their seat.
Okay, now what we're going to do is, now the reason why we've surprised you with the gift is often when we set our intentions, we think with our left brain. And often our right brain thinks in color, in metaphor, in stories, in pictures, in color. So one of the things we're encouraging you to do is, as you think about your intention and what this card has found you, as you sat down with your partner, have a little conversation about what other things that might have come out about it. What does it evoke in you when you see this card about your intention? So reflect on your card first. You may, if you're more introverted, you might choose to not talk yet. If you're more extroverted, you might want to share straight away.
Okay, so just quickly, I'm a very pragmatic, structured sort of person. And when I looked at these cards, the one I see that really stood out for me was when I picked up the trust card. And that to me is just a person kind of leaping out off the abyss. So for me, it might mean, for example, that I need to trust more the information that I'm going to be learning, and to keep an open mind when I'm learning, not judge things so quickly, so throw myself out there. The schizophrenia one's got me worried. I'm not sure who's got that, but when I looked at schizophrenia, it's actually a man or a lady or someone hanging between an abyss. I looked at that immediately and thought of my corporate life and thought it's a guy wearing a tie. So maybe it's time to get rid of the tie and relax and be prepared to share over the next couple of days. So we'll all interpret the card that we have differently. It's like a piece of artwork. So we're asking you now to be that curious, creative child you used to be. Look at the card and what's coming out for you.
Yep, and share it. Because when I look at that abyss, I thought adventure. So we might have the same card and we might actually see something differently.
That's exactly right. And we did when we actually did this activity. In fact, every time we do it, it's different.
So
okay, let's go.
Reflect on your card and...
take a few minutes. What's happening in the room at the moment? Why are you having such a great quality conversation with a person you probably don't even know? Because we're doing something different. And to support innovation, we spoke about collaboration. And collaboration comes with trust. And what you're doing is you're sharing something about you, an interpretation of something. And how often do we do this in the workplace? Almost never. Our communication is very clinical. And you're actually starting to build a relationship by sharing something about you from the inside. And we're going to talk more about that in our session tomorrow, so come along.
Great ad.
Shameless plug. Okay, Yvonne, let's wrap this up and we'll get moving with more fun.
And as we said, part of adult learning is to be able to collaborate. One-on-one in person can get harder and harder as we live in a global world. You might have met a friend now from another part of the globe. So the Innov8rs community has an app. We notice that some people have already registered, but if you haven't, this is a great way by which you can share your learnings. For example, that picture that you took of your intention, you could post it and make a comment, and also notice that somebody else might be posting it as well. You might also explore other people's posts. Other speakers might be posting. You might respond to someone's post. So you, instead having that one buddy today, you might have several buddies. There are also innovators outside of the community that can probably participate, and they might even not be present in the conference, and they'll be able to respond. You might want to send a direct message to someone that you love their input from. So do use the app, use technology to enhance humanity. That's our thing. And last but not least, what we're also asking you to do is there's a hashtag if you intend to tweet or Instagram on Innov8rs Singapore 2018, which it points to this conference, or if you want the whole community to see it, please hashtag Innov8rs itself. And I would also encourage not to just stick to writing and texting. How about using the idea of the Post-its? And if your intention or some quote that you've heard from a speaker was fundamentally exciting, write it in color, take a picture and post it. Let's make it colorful. Let's make it exciting. That might stimulate some insights with someone else that you might be giving a gift to with a picture. So you might not even get a gift from a speaker. You might get a gift from someone that you've heard talking at tea time.
Or a triggered thought.
Or trigger a thought. So capture your thoughts and post it on the Innov8rs community app so that we can all share this learning together.
Fantastic.
So we'll see you out there, and thank you for spending some time with us. We'll be around, and we'll see you around at the conference. Thank you.